Alright guys, next I'm replacing the gearbox to my steering column, which is right here. You can see I got a new one from a junkyard. It's right there. I'm gonna throw it in here. It's either this or something's wrong with my fuel pump, my power steering pump. It's kind of a pain in the ass to crank it, and it goes whenever it wants to. So I'm gonna do this. If that's not it, probably gonna take apart the gearbox and put the new seals in. Take off that cap right there. So we'll see. Just kind of diagnosing it right now. Just replacing the parts. They're kind of cheap to get. They're just hard to find. So first, I'm gonna start taking off the lines, the power steering lines that go to this housing here. This one right here, you can see it's 8mm. I'm gonna loosen that one up. I'm going to leave the piece of brass in there and just slide the this line off. This one down here on the back side, that one's at 18mm. That one's kind of a pain in the ass to get to. The angle's a bitch, and it's even harder to get it back in straight so you don't cross thread it. Oh, just dropped the wrench. So let me get these two off real quick and we'll keep going. Alright, I got one of the power steering lines off, going to the gearbox here. You can see I just left this piece of brass on here, and then I just tie up the hose up here. I wear the rag. It's a little bit easier because that hose runs all the way down to the bottom side over here. It's just a pain in the ass to get to, so just one more thing makes it a little bit easier. Another thing I didn't mention, I pulled the gearbox I'm going to replace it with and the steering column right here out of a is that an 85 Suburban. This is the 84 K10. Pull out an 85 Suburban. It all fits, so it was a little bit easier to find it out of that than it was out of that actual exact same truck. And next I'm going to take off this this line right here. This is the 18mm. Like I said, it's a little pain in the ass to get to. Got to go in at a weird angle and look like just trying not to cross thread it or trying not to tear up this nut right there because it's a bitch to get it off. Alright, so I got, turn my light back on. So I got that other line out. Goes right there. And just like I tied that one up, just tie this one up right here on the hinge so it's not leaking all over the place like it already has. Next thing to do, I already got 3 of them out. There's these bolts right here that bolt your gearbox to the frame. And let's take a look. If I remember right, that one takes a those bolts out. It takes a 16. These are 16mm. Like I said, there's 4 of them. So there's gonna be one. You can see the housing of the power threads in the gearbox right here. You can get to from the back side. These lines are kind of a pain in the ass. And then the other 3, you're gonna reach from underneath the truck. Alright, so those other 3 bolts. You see one hole right there. There's another one right there, just on the other side of that lip. And the third one to get from underneath the truck, just right back here. So you got one right there, another one right here, and the other one's gonna be underneath this lip right here. And they're all bitch to get to because they don't really seat too far in your socket. So I like to use a crowbar or a break-in bar and kind of wedge it. I had to wedge a break-in bar in here to hold my socket, my ratchet straight while I did it. Kind of go up here between these lines as my ratchet went across from here to this top bolt. Let's crank it off. Run my extension through here. So it's kind of a weird spot, but it can be done. So let me get the 4th one off real quick, and then show you what else you got to disconnect. Alright, so I got the other bolt loosened up down there. One more thing I forgot to show you guys. There's these 2 nuts. You see one here, there's one on the opposite side right there, and these aren't really threaded, they're just like little nipples that stick out, kind of grab your steering column right here. You gotta get those off before you take off the gearbox. The easiest way I found, first it takes a 9/16. So I've been using a metric for pretty much everything else, but 9/16 fit these fine right here. So I take like a pry bar, I kind of stick it right in here and push it the opposite way as I'm going to be going, obviously. So I'm going to push this one to the left, so I'm going to crank it downward. It just grabs this nut and the whole steering column just doesn't spin freely like it wants to. So once you get those off, these lines off, these 2 lines off right here, and then those 4 bolts I showed you, so pop right out. And then I'll show you what you got to disconnect on one of the, I guess the tire first, which actually makes your your wheels turn. So once you get this 4th one off, move on to the next step. Alright, so we got all these 4 bolts off. Nice thing I take off, there's a castellated nut right here. I really forget, I think I might have taken a 1-inch. Or I might use a crescent wrench, I forget. I did it yesterday. So take off this castellated nut, there's a pin that goes through, you can see the hole for it. Just punch the pin out, pull that thing out. There's these 2 bolts I had to take off, there's 2 nuts I had to take off I was telling you about. There's one on the back side right there. And then I'm gonna figure out, it's kind of a tight spot, so I don't know if I'm gonna come up from the top of the engine, or maybe turn your tires to the left and figure out if you can get it out from underneath right here through the wheel well. So that's really your preference, and whichever way it goes, I guess, since it's so tight. So I'm gonna put you guys on pause and I'll figure out how to get this thing out of here.